motor's velocity,
All right,
acceleration,
guys. Hold on just 1 second.
So, what? Oh, sorry.
No, we're live.
Oh, good. Well, there you go.
Exactly.
In a nutshell.
Hey, guys.
And if you heard that, wipe it from your memory.
Exactly. How you guys doing tonight? So, let's see what we got on. David Geifa, Lynn Miner, 5 guests, and a couple other people that are out there.
Lynn.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy, how you doing?
Yeah.
David.
So, how you guys doing? So, if you didn't catch last week's live broadcast, and you already have received your machine, and you want to know how to do the updating, along with your new ST dongle. If you have not received this, please email us, and we'll be sending this out to you along with the cable that comes with it.
Yeah, show that real close up. So, Jim, if you're watching this broadcast, that should be in your box. So if it's not, please let us know.
Yep.
We got hundreds of them, so we're glad to share.
Yep, exactly. So,
we may have had a snafu.
yeah, it
happens.
It happens. So, if that happened, I do apologize. So, okay. So, yeah, try not to interrupt your dinner time, David. Sorry about that. How you doing, Tolid? Thank you for joining.
Welcome back from the wild.
Yes.
He was camping last week.
That's good. That's good.
Must
So,
not have made it sound like a bear. Come on
that's
over
true.
here.
That's true. So we got somebody here tonight. Say hello to everybody. So
Hi there.
everyone, this is Nick. Nick, everyone. So along with the rest of the world. So
Nick is visiting us from Texas. He's a graduate student, way smarter than the rest of us, and he's built several different printers in his lifetime. So when I found out what he's been doing, we just wanted to invite him so he could come get trained on his new printer and, you know, teach us some things back. He's already taught me lots of things. I can't roll over, but I can play dead. So there you go. So we invited him to sit in on tonight's questions. Maybe he'll have some reflection for us. Maybe he'll just go, these guys are boring, get me out of here. So far, so good.
So Nick, just to let you know a little bit of the format of what we have here. Typically, anybody who's been here live with us, you just ask us any kind of questions you want about the printer or anything pretty much else in general, hopefully pertaining to the printer or the material or anything like that, and we'll answer them live in front of everybody in the world. So, and then if you want to have a copy of it as well, you can always look at this online afterwards.
So a little technology thing to jump into, is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Today we had a request from a prospective future printer owner who is requesting that we ship our printers with bipolar stepping motors. So I'm going to give a quick 90-second primer on stepping motors. Stepping motors are all bipolar, just like my ex-wife. No, I didn't say that. She's not bipolar. Anyway, in the old days, it was very hard to come up with a transistor drive section where you could go down to ground and up to V+. So what we would do, rather than have 2 transistors and then cover off the center tap, to pull one side of the coil high, the other one low, and then switch them like this, which is why it's bipolar. You're plus, you're minus, you're plus, you're minus. Sounds like we're in an election here, right? Okay. So the way it worked was we would take a single common wire, come over in each coil, and you would just pull down the coil from V+ to activate it. So one transistor would turn it on.
Okay.
This is why if you look at old stepping motor drivers, they have a massive diode there, because when you released it, you get this massive kickback spike. And the diode would go in and snub it, otherwise, poof, the magic dragon would come out with your circuit boards.
Yeah.
Okay. And in 1981, I came up with a circuit to use a constant current switching power supply so that I would control the current, and then as the motor accelerated, I would give it more or less voltages so it was a constant current through the acceleration cycle. That, I'm not saying I invented it, but I don't know if anybody else who invented it before that. That became today's de facto standard on how we're current controlled on our stepping motors. And that's why there's a current sense resistor. But the bottom line is, we do have bipolar transistors, not transistors, but bipolar stepping motors. The ones we use are 0.9 degree per step on all axes. On some of our step heads, they are 1.8 degree because that format's not available in a finer resolution, and we really don't need it. So we have 1/16 microstepping, so there is actually 6,400 pulses per revolution of every stepping motor. That's just to answer a question that was come to me a couple of times. I thought I did it in public.
Oh, yeah.
And there you go. So Well, another question that came up, and I hate to jump on that, but while it's still fresh in the noodle, someone asked me 2 days ago, could I slow down the Emo 25? And would it be possible to run it from something else? So I ran the calculation, and if you run it at 1 pulse per second, it takes 9 months to dispense 25 milliliters. If you need it slower than that, give me a phone call. I'll change your firmware for you. But I'm pretty sure if it lasts for 9 months, you're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the thing we were talking about earlier today, where you actually use a biological fixing.
Yeah, that might take a
Well,
Wow.
but it could take a month.
Yeah.
But I could see where that could actually be useful someday.
Yeah.
Because I'd wait a month for a kidney. Nick is here, and he is working on doing research on ways to create new organs for people. And when I saw some of the work he'd done, it totally inspired me. So that is just, when Hutch saw it, it took him 2 seconds to say, let him come. So it wasn't like, I don't know, I'm not sure.
When are you coming out?
You guys can remember 10 years, 15 years ago from now when he said, getting a Nobel Prize for printing the first brain that works, then you'll know where to be. I just saw that guy. That's what you can tell everybody. Anyway, all right, cool. That's enough for that. So
Okay.
we have a little bit of software features to show tonight, and then let's see what we've got.
So, answer your question. My dongle came sealed with a different cable, 5 individual plugs on each end. No separate connector was included in the envelope.
We screwed
So-
up. I apologize. We'll get that
So-
out to you tomorrow morning.
It doesn't look like this, and you got the USB side right here. Just confirming. So you should have a white end right here, and this is the black end right there, and that's where the key is
It's
on the top.
polarized. Yep.
It's polarized, so you got that little key lock right there. There you go. So hopefully, there we go.
Program the hot hits.
Mhm.
Firmware upgrade.
So if that's the wrong thing, Jim, I do apologize, and we'll send you the right thing tomorrow.
Totally.
So yeah. All right.
They come prepackaged with the 5 spare wires in there. They're not meant for you to be using them.
Yep.
So we just did cut it open and take them out.
Potentially.
Yeah. Well, it could be that Aldea misunderstood that since she saw wires, she thought that was the cable.
That is entirely possible.
Well.
But she knew from the very beginning that we needed to have it. So it might have been just a brain fart.
Assumptions have been made, and you
Yes.
know, that makes an ass out of you and me, but at least out of me for sure. So we apologize.
So
Anyway,
because I know the cables that went out there that come with this dongle only have 4. So there's only 4 wires.
yeah.
So-
Yeah, the 5th one's for.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. What do you want to show next?
Well, if I said on the live broadcast, excuse me, on the broadcast update to all the Kickstarters, that that we're going to show a little bit more of the software because it has matured just a little bit over the past week and a half.
Every day
where-
it matures.
Where it makes it a little bit easier for you to actually go over and update. So what we didn't show on the last update is when you put this together, you actually have, or when you select it, you have a nice little pictogram, which lets you see what's new from point A to point B. So because that didn't happen until like 2 days after the broadcast. So let's see. Oh yes, that was another thing. I can do this. Let me, June Lee, or Jay Lee, thank you very much. You're absolutely correct. Let me go ahead and throw this up there so that everybody can see it as to where to download these particular, like the newest updates. So because Davo has actually posted a new web page.
Okay.
It goes over a lot. I think you're gonna like it. So
Good. Good job,
Orion,
Davo.
how you doing? Hold on 1 second. Okay. So give me just 1 moment. Here we go. And we're going to go ahead and open up screen capture. Hold on 1 second.
Nice.
There we go. Okay, so as you guys can see, yeah, on this side, this is inside the downloads folder, and I'll actually post this up on inside the chat right now. to go. You guys can go there, and you'll see the actual current release versions that we have right now of Repitrel. So you have your software that you can download, the hothead and hotbed firmware, along with motion controller firmware, and also the ST-Link utility. The ST-Link utility is absolutely necessary and needed for everyone who's out there who's going to be using this guy right there, your ST-Link dongle, in order to flash and update the firmware on your 103s.
And the instructions
Yes.
on here need to be changed. The ST-Link utility must be in C:(Repitrel), not Repitrel firmware.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
C:(Repitrel).
Someone brought that
So-
to mind. Carlos did. Thank you, Carlos.
Yes. So there are a little bit of there's a little bit of obviously down here. The one thing that we wanted to show is that because we changed a little bit of the actual artwork on the 103, most of the machine guns that have gone out already have nothing but the old style version board, which you'll see in the back has that little jumper. The new style does not have the new jumper, and because of that, if you look up above, you'll see where it says like the hothead firmware version 130 is for the newer version, and then right underneath there is 30 Bravo for the older style. So you got the newer style, you got the older style. The only thing you have to look for is just that one little jumper that you can see with the pictures down below.
It's a very nice setup that Dave did. I like it. Tell him I said I like it.
He did a wonderful
If you're
job.
watching Dave, I like it.
Yeah. So no,
Very nice.
if he's not watching it now, he will watch it. He always watches the.
Good. Tell your wife you did awesome.
So thank you, Davo.
You get
So-
an extra massage.
Yeah. So everybody thank Davo for that one. Okay. So we're gonna go back here. So yes. So Junior, you're absolutely correct. So, and yours is actually downstairs. It's on the cart and is going to be going in the box tomorrow and shipping out tomorrow. So you'll be getting your tracking number and everything like that tomorrow as well. So, which
Good
is
job, guys.
so
Good
yeah.
job. Finally.
We had a couple more Kickstarters that went out this week. It appears that one of which that went across the border to our friends in the north got a little bit damaged in shipment. Apparently, it looked like the customs may have opened it and had futzed around with this type of technology. Although I can understand why. With their X-rays and whatnot, they probably thought it was something of nefarious natures. But if that ever happens, please take pictures of everything. If it ever comes damaged to you guys, if your box looks like it's messed up in any kind of way, please, and this goes for any care package that we send out as well. Take pictures because we want to know just exactly what they did, and so that we can prepare accordingly. Because having worked for the big box logistics company that I was working for, I thought I've seen it all. There are many more ways that companies like that have found, or people inside those companies have found ways to destroy stuff that should be indestructible. So, and they've been quite successful at doing that. So we want to know what's there. So please let us know, and we'll do whatever we can to help replace or help fix what you have. So, yeah, cool. So, anything else you? Oh, and guys, please, again, if you have any questions, please start asking them in the chat, because there typically is roughly a 10 to 20 second lag between from what we see up here to what you guys are going to be seeing too. So,
Tonight's broadcast will only be an hour max because we are all been working really long hours. We're glad to do this.
yeah.
So just let you know, get them answered, get the questions in early so we can make up stories quickly.
So, all right. So you guys have the downloads, and it's
Super.
Yeah. So, and for the future going forward, because this is actually very easy for Davo to put this together and put it up there, we'll continue to use this particular downloads folder and this particular bookmark page for you guys to download from here. Now, the archived versions. Oh, yes. Go.
Just for a side shoot.
Yes.
When you do this, install Repitrel first. Do not try to go directly to the firmware upgrades. Let Repitrel do the firmware upgrade for you, because it will walk you through in a nice, orderly fashion with pictures, and you'll find it a much easier experience. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
So, if you guys are looking for the if you guys are looking for any of the older versions, we're taking them down, we're taking them off, and the whole reason for doing that is to save a little bit of bandwidth, but also at the same time, we also don't want you guys to mix up potentially older software and older firmware together. So what you see up here on that particular downloads folder, those guys should be working, or actually, we know that we've already tested them, they'll be working together. So if you're using A33 inside of HYREL, you can see if it's A33 with this newest firmware, it may not work. More than likely, it probably won't work. But, and vice versa, if you're using the newer firmware, it will probably not work with A33, so, or the older versions of HYREL. So please try and keep everything as current as possible. So, yeah. And if, when there's a huge code drop where we're going to be separating each individual firmware software version on the way out going forward, we'll send out a Kickstarter update and let you guys know what you guys can do to make sure that you're updated and you have everything moving along quite nicely. And if you have any questions, Skype us, give us a call.
Right now.
Yeah.
The next major release has the pause on Z and restart, and it also has the preamble turned on. And I'm in the middle of testing that right now. It also, I've added the head offsets to be tool oriented as well as fixture offsets. So the way that works is you assign an offset for the head, which I'm going to go ahead and read it right out of the number boxes and make it automatic.
Okay.
Testing it via, you can override that with the M code if you want to.
Okay.
So you can either use the boxes that are inside the head, or you can go over and you can set it up via M code. Whenever you switch from one head to another, it automatically uses the offset of that current head.
Oh, okay.
Alright. So if you try to print with two heads simultaneously, it uses no offset because it doesn't know which head on the offset it should use. So it defaults to neutral, 0, 0, 0. I always make head number 2 or number 3 my primary. That's 2 or 3. I know I can count. And that way, I would get used to using number 2. Let me tell you why. In the old system, it's convenient. So is 3. But in the new ones, where we're doing the 1-3 yokes, everybody's going to print on head 2 as primary because it's the one that has the most coverage. And then we actually have some of it's around right now. But anyway, I almost got beat up by Hutch. I said, we could almost show it to you, but not tonight.
No.
But we will show you some good stuff on the software. Another thing we've done is we moved the camera from foreground to background and returned it on. As we had mentioned earlier, the camera's been enabled for months, but it had an issue when we started doing really large prints where it would choke the print because the video was taking too much CPU time. So I've taken it out, stuck it in background where it only uses available extra play time, and it did great for that. And so it slows down its frame rate, but for what we're doing, it's not an issue.
No.
So that was a big thing, and we're going to give you a little demonstration on what a print looks like when it does it, because I think you'll find it entertaining to see how effortlessly it was to make a little pictorial history of our build.
You want to do that now? It's a good
Yeah, let's show it. It's a conversation starter.
We'll answer your questions in just 1 second about update upcoming shows. Okay.
We won't be in Seattle this weekend,
Unfortunately.
some other guys will be there, but we're not going to be there.
Okay. So
what we've done is we made a little viewer for you, and you can see the viewer now, and this just lets you play back the pictures. So it's actually taking the pictures that were made, and it's going to play them in chronological order. And you've seen this before with other people's things, but you can do this with just one click of the button now. So that's pretty cool because this is very nice to have a pictorial history, and we're actually encrypting different information on each picture about the temperatures, the feed rate, all that will be stuck inside of the first line of pixels as data. And that way, if there's a problem or a question, we can go back and look at the circumstance that the print was made on.
Mm-hmm.
And to implement that printer, all you have to do, if you're using that M790 that I talked about, is you see down here where it says snap on layer, you just do that. And now when it prints, it will create a brand new picture every layer change. And by the way, it creates its own folder with the name of the last G-code file that was opened, and that's where it puts it. And we sort by time, so you don't have to worry about the ascending order of the pictures, because otherwise there's a problem with sorting numbers if you don't do it leading zeros. Okay, so hopefully that's just a little preview, and hopefully you guys were able to see that live as it happened. There you go.
All right.
And hopefully that we got it through. Let's see what anybody says. Or if anybody says that.
Rearrange the camera here, guys. Okay.
I saw your logo on Expos. Nice.
Oh, okay. So unfortunately, Orion, we're not going to be able to make it this time. So
there's a team of guys, 3D Print Life. They were with us at the CE show. Or I should say we were with them. They got the booth and everything for us. Great guys. And they'll be there at the show. There may or may not be a machine there of ours. We don't know. It hasn't shipped out yet. We're kind of treating customers with a higher priority than shows at the moment. So ask me tomorrow what happened, because I don't really know.
any update on the Queens Maker Fair? X-Forma 23 asks.
Where's that?
That's New York City.
We still haven't been accepted to go there. We will go there if we get a slot, but right now we don't have a slot. They've sold out, and that's the way it is.
Yep. So when we applied, they basically said we're out of space. So for the 3D printing pavilion. So.
No. Someone asked if the pictures are from the built-in camera.
Yeah.
Those particular pictures were from a webcam that I mounted here.
Yeah. Here.
You can see it right here.
Sorry about that.
I just mounted it on the side.
Yep.
Because it had a better vantage point.
And this guy is on though, right? Oh.
Yeah, I can turn it on.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah. Let's show them that it is actually working. So he's going down here, guys.
Got to go to camera. There.
Okay.
So you can see my hand. Very scary.
Yep. So it's working. There we go.
All right.
Yep.
And you can use any webcam to do external pictures. It allows you to select it.
Yep.
I don't know if there's a limit on how many cameras you can have on a system at once. I've already tried it with 4. I'm not saying I had 4 live at the same time, but I had 4 available, and I could select one of those 4.
Yep.
So there you go.
Okay. So let's see. Any info about that screen/tablet? Powers USA asks. And
I'm not sure what that question applies to.
if you're referring to the screen of the machine, like the touch screens, possibly.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to guess.
More typing could help us out.
Yeah.
I saw that types right after you were zooming in on the screen. So
Okay.
It's coming.
So
Drum roll. So what we've decided to do is we've been having lots and lots of contact from lots of you guys. You're out there working with the new software. Some good results, some showing where documentation would be a lot better for us. So we're going to dedicate the next broadcast to actually slicing and printing. So we're going to set you up. We're going to walk through a very simple slice and a very simple print with the latest recipes, and we will load the latest software on the download link, so pretty much everybody can do that. And we'll put that software on the day before. Then you can sit there with your printer, walk through it as we're doing it, and get you guys up and flying with the latest software. And the second thing we'll do will be a 2-color print. We did a 2-color print yesterday. We had an issue with the print head, but not with the software. So it was actually starting to look very nice when it.
finally showed us. Yeah.
We had an old bearing, didn't know it, so that was it. Let's see what it says.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, that screen on the engine you were just using, and referring to the screen/tablet.
That's just a screen. There is a real PC board, motherboard underneath there. We've adopted the Celeron 1037U as the current platform. We're very, very pleased with its snappiness. The solid-state M-SATA drive boots like yesterday, and it's got a reasonable performance. So right now, that's where we're at. We are still quest for fire. We cannot find a screen tablet that lets us do what we want to do. I'm sure, I mean, everything's in a state of flux. I'm sure that as technology marches on, there will eventually be a tablet solution that makes sense. So far, what we've got, it seems to be the best thing for us. I mean, we put a lot of effort into selection.
Yeah.
We just haven't come up with a better one.
So
The tablets that we like wouldn't stay on for 24 hours. The tablets we didn't like, well, we didn't like them. And there's one tablet built on the same processor that was an actual tablet slash PC with a flip around screen.
Oh, it's awesome.
It was beautiful, and don't be surprised if that doesn't become an option on the system someday. If we can get a package that allows it to mount on the system with an angle and a fairly firm keypad. Our problem is that it just couldn't easily be mounted. Not even easily, just couldn't be mounted so far. So it was not a. It was a disaster from a mounting standpoint. It was a piece of beauty from its functionality.
So, Powers USA, to answer your question, are the new engines shipping with that screen? That's a great question. The engines, I'm sorry, for the systems as of right now, that's the screen that we are using. So
That's the system screen on that. That's my prototype.
yeah,
I'm using it because I leave it on 24/7 to make sure there's no problems with it. I just drug that out of my little den of iniquity so we could show you what the software was doing. I didn't even release this software to anybody yet because I've got 2 other things I'm trying to implement, so there's a little more meat to the next release. With the exception of 2 or 3 people that I'm throwing all kinds of bug-ridden code at because they're having fun throwing it back at me or something.
so is that 1.79 or is that 1.80 as to?
I'm at
what you-
2.0 right now.
Oh, you are at 2.0.
Oh yeah,
Okay. So
I'm not releasing this stuff early.
Okay. So
I couldn't handle phone calls.
I understand that. So what's out there today, guys? If you're looking at the HYREL website to download further downloads, it's 1.781, and that's the most stable version that we have today. So
I'm going to say I've got like another 10 days, and then the software will become very stable.
Okay.
As in, I won't be changing every day. We go through a phase change here in September as far as job duties go. I'm just trying to get us to a state where multiple material prints, general operations, all just straightforward, no bugs to it. The good thing is, no knowledge code errors. We're locking on 2 months now. No one's reported one, which means we got that bug killed, and that was the worst one.
oh yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what the preamble does, though. We've had some really good science done by some of the guys who are working.
Oh yeah.
And special thank yous to David Kibble and to Les Music. Both you guys have supplied me with very valuable information to let me tweak this preamble.
Well,
And I think that'll be a huge thing in clean, crisp stopping the start.
oh yeah, and Yeoman's been giving you great pictures
Yes,
over all this stuff as well, which
He
is just
somehow manages to do it without me. I don't know how to do this. I like this guy. This guy just doesn't think whether it can be done. He just does it. Yeah, he just does it. So
yeah, I love it.
he's a very nice person. I hope that he is a long, successful life.
Me too.
That's true with everybody.
Oh yeah. Jay Lee, 4 cameras, pics from different angles. Yeah, if you wanted to have that, you most certainly can.
I have not snapped camera images live before. That will be something that I think we can do.
Oh,
Okay.
What do you think it's a lot? Well, that's a lot of processing power.
The way it works is you put the cameras down and you bring them up and snap a picture and put it back down.
Okay.
4 live feeds is probably not a realistic expectation.
Well, not all at once.
Well, but I need live to grab an instant image.
True.
So, I guess I could explain this real quick.
Sure.
We have used a different vision library for years on our other product, and it has been solid like a rock. But all along, we wanted to make it possible for other people to manipulate the code base where appropriate. And the problem is the software that we've been using for years on our other product, the Wally. It costs money, like $1,000 or more, to get a license for you to play with the code. And this other source is the EMGU, which is completely open source, and it lets you go in and use you guys' code capability as you see fit. So, you know, that's the reason why we're using the drivers we're using. They're more accessible without charging an arm and leg. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do for the final release. When I'm ready, I probably will go ahead and put our bellwether drivers in. But for now, since I'm releasing the code out to other people to play with, I'm leaving it with something where they don't have to go invest a lot of money to play with the code. So, otherwise, our diagnostic guys could never compile anything. I mean, they wouldn't be able to. So, okay.
All right. Next question comes from Powers USA. Updated slicer settings. Yes, the updated slicer recipes. That's one thing that we were talking about a little bit earlier today. We're looking at the preamble, which then goes into the whole point of using the custom G-code. Inside of Slicer, if you guys have already played around with Slicer, you'll notice on the third tab over to your right, it says printer settings. And now inside the printer settings, you're going to see a little tab on the left-hand side of the little tree there that says custom G-code. Inside of there, you'll see where it says start G-code. And that's what we're calling the preamble area. Now, we've been messing around with it, we've been futzing with it a little bit in order for it to, yes. Okay. No, this is a different kind of preamble.
Yeah, there's two preambles. I want to make sure we talk about the right
Okay,
thing.
well then...
you keep going, and then I'll tell them what the other preamble is.
Okay, so one of the problems that we had was, is that whenever you slice something, whether it be at 100 microns, 200 microns, 300 microns, I didn't know what the actual variable names were that you could actually put in there, that it would pull, that particular G-code would pull from the slicer settings anywhere else where the slicer settings were, and insert that particular information in there. So you'd have to go in, you'd have to change around that particular G-code in order for that to work. With the correct nozzle size, or with the correct, in this case, not only just the nozzle size, it was also the, why is my brain
layer width,
layer thickness,
layer height.
layer thickness, thank you, layer thickness.
Pulses per nanoliter.
So all of that is now been fixed, and Dave was going to be uploading that to that particular that guy right there. So on the actual HYREL3.net downloads folder, and that'll be happening tomorrow. So I'm happy with the quality of where it is as of right now. We're just going to continue to refine or improve it, but that'll get you guys started when it comes to slicing and printing with the newest firmware software. So, and now preamble number 2.
When you print and you're starting and stopping material, you cannot start and stop the material at the exact spot you want to stop and start the material. You must start the stopping process or the starting process before you get there, so that when you actually arrive, the event takes place. The reason for that is the material is flowing, and there's time taken to stop the motor and retract back the material. This time is very short, but it becomes significant when you look at it. And Les Music was nice enough to make some prints under a variety of conditions, and it's glaringly obvious just what the differential is and how it attributes itself to certain phenomena. So it was great to see how a little blob that dripped out, that got wicked off, became a reverse line. And it was also interesting to see that a wall that should have started here started a little bit later, like the Wilhelm Kaiser Memorial Church in Berlin. That's where the walls are blown out. Okay? If you've been there, you'd understand that religion. So, they never rebuilt that church entirely as a memorial, that they don't want another war there. I'm on top of that. Let's keep it that way. So, that's how that works out. And we've got it now so that I'm adjusting the numbers, and I'm soon, like I'm hoping tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to release that to the power guys out there. That would be David and Greg and Les and a few others. Tim's going to play with it too. and get you guys to tell us what you think about how it's functioning.
Is that different than a tool change decode is that what, related at all or no?
It's not. The tool
Okay.
change, when you change a tool, you're already done printing with that tool. So I'm not going to change a tool like that.
Yeah.
I've got to come back and switch around. And it's our plan to actually go off in most cases, run some material if it's been running for very long, and then clean it through the brushes and bring it back and start printing clean. Because we want to emulate what we would normally do for a good print. That emulation would involve, for me, I brush the nozzle after running some material while the bed's getting hot, and then off we go. And so you like it to be fresh. You don't want old material in the middle of a print anyway, you know. I mean, it's been cooked and for who knows how long. So, and if you're doing like 4 or 5 prints, I mean, I could see where it could be sitting here for hours. And that would be the next thing, and that's the look ahead in the code. So several really cool things that have all been framed up. And the basics of it are already in there. And one of them is a Gantt chart of your print. So what this shows is just a plot. Here's your velocity, here's your head change, here's your estimated temperature, your fan dynamics. And what we're trying to do is create something so that, and I really apologize, I brought the octopus, but it's somewhere, I don't know where it is. We had a print that printed beautiful until it got to a horizontal surface on a 15% build. This is a case where we'd like to increase the flow rate, but over a skewed fashion. Normally that would be very difficult to achieve. But here it would be easy for me to take these 2 points and just pull an arc and say apply, and it could then every layer adjust the fudge factor so that I get X% more as I get into that zone. And you can see where that starts to give you true mastery. And this is not that we intend, and some people gave us proper criticism this last week. They said it's very complicated, it's like a science tool. Yeah, that's right. This really is complicated this time, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to understand it. When we understand it, then we can dumb it down so that it gets easier to use. Our eventual goal would be that we analyze this stuff, we see what's going on, and then we can go, you know what? I'm going to apply a little slope modification to this automatically. And there are a number of areas where that will prove very useful to us. The camera wasn't built there as like a party trick. The original reason for putting the camera where it's useless from seeing a build, it's there so we can read the measurement of a filament going down at a flow rate and compare that against what we want, so we can analyze and optimize automatically. That will happen, and I think it will become almost a de facto standard at some point in the future, might be 20 years from now, but it makes all the sense in the world with the cost of the sensors that someday printers will be self-calibrating. Not, oh, I got this from the internet. It will be, I took the picture of what I actually printed. I'm working with hard data that I just got fresh out of my print information. And that's a long way off, maybe. Maybe it's closer than you think. I'm not telling.
Excellent. Any more questions? Okay. All right. So how about you guys out there? Do you guys have any questions? We actually have quite a few people on. So
I'm thrilled with that. Because you got the notice out a day early. That was awesome.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, well, yeah, I finally got it out there, so.
You did good.
Yeah.
You've been doing great lately.
Thank you. So.
I gotta tell you guys,
helps.
Hutch had a birthday this year. It's like he gained 10 years in his life. He's not 40 yet. Those of you that talk to us know what that means.
Yeah.
But he's damn close.
Really?
Yeah, you're getting there.
Good.
I started looking at wheelchairs.
You're not that old.
You didn't see me walking this afternoon.
Well, you know.
It's all good. Look how shiny my forehead is. That's like my halo. It means God's trying to get me near me. It's all good. Wow. I'm going to wear a baseball cap next time. I think that'll, well, see how we, oh man, that's terrible. I apologize to everybody. Whoever saw that, I totally apologize. It should not happen again. We're going to get lights somewhere else. Hutch has got all that dark hair. It looks great. That's why you're the photo man.
Are there any gray hairs yet? Yeah.
I pull them out. That's why there's nothing left.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, then I think that covers what I want to cover. I really want to go through this next one. We will announce that in a few days.
Yep.
We just want to go this next step with it. I'm sure we'll do a broadcast before I leave for China, which at latest will be September 1.
Yeah.
So
So it'll probably be another either this coming Wednesday or not this coming Sunday, but then next Sunday, potentially. You think? So
I'm thinking it might be next Wednesday.
next Wednesday. Okay. Looking at it right now.
Okay. I don't want to try and commit something on the Memorial Day
31st.
weekend.
Yeah.
That would be in transit.
Okay. That works.
I'm going to China for about 2 weeks so that I can do the source inspection. We have a ton of printers in process. As you've been waiting patiently, the flood is on its way. They're loading boats with pairs of printers on them.
Yeah.
Not really. They're flying over. Actually paying lots of extra for it.
That's true. Let's see.
And so if anybody wants to know, we don't actually get them assembled there. We're just getting lots and lots of raw material, and we're doing all the assembly in QC here, and that's starting to look better. They all walked in and they had 3-4 people all working on the shop floor doing something useful. I was very proud of them. So good job, Hutch. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. I was playing hooky, you know, so what can I say? After a leisurely life of hanging out, it's all good. I was the taxi driver today.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
Let's see. Power Zeros said I had a halo brace when I broke my neck.
Oh, ouch.
Sorry to hear that.
It hurts me to see people with screws in their skull.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep me up. Now I'm gonna have to go back to work. I won't be able to sleep for several hours.
Yeah,
You'll
exactly.
come. Cool.
X423 asks one last question, which is, how about overseas production? How's that going along? And we just answered that. So, yeah, it's going well. Better. Much better.
They're doing a great job. I am thrilled with what they got. York, Tide, if you're watching, I'm hoping you guys are hearing this. I know Tide watches it live sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
A million thank yous.
Yes.
You have no idea how much you have helped us. And I will say that publicly and acknowledge that you have been a fantastic help to us and a pleasure to know. And I look forward to visiting you guys. I'm hoping to get some more eggplant. they have me pegged as the eggplant guy because they have this Szechuan eggplant at the cafeteria they eat at, and it's the only thing I really like at the cafeteria. Everything else is like okay, but it's like you're expecting some really great Chinese food, and it's like, really? That's so bland. Or it's not recognizable. I don't eat the stuff I can't recognize.
I wonder what Chinese people think about our Chinese food here.
You know what, I told them that. I said, I would love to bring you to America and show you what real Chinese food is supposed to be like. Only an American would say that.
Oh, man.
So I took them out for lunch. Now, Ty didn't go. I took York and Jack.
Yeah.
And we went to an Indian restaurant. It's just, matter of fact, it's where the building's at now. They went to the apartment. They're 29 floors.
That's dangerous.
Okay,
That's
so
dangerous,
these guys
but
are here and they're playing videos in the background. Oh, hey, and it's the Indian, and it was actually pretty good music.
Yeah.
But they looked at me and said, "Don't you think Indian women are so hot?" And I'm like, "Wow." I've given them all this good food, and that's what they're talking about. You can tell they're 22 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't say that. Okay, that's TMI.
Yes.
All right, let's see what it says.
This is Jay Lee says, okay, about the bigger motor for the X and Y axes. Yes, the X and Y axes yes, yours was installed. They've tested it. It works. And the whole reason for doing that is that we started noticing a few issues with a couple of things. One was when you have some of the pins coming out of the connector, the motor doesn't run as well as it should. So, in other words, if you don't plug it into the wall, it's probably not going to turn on, more than likely. So,
You have this pin on your connector?
there was a couple of loose pins, but by the time we took it apart and we took a look at it, we just went, well, let's just go ahead and do the bigger motor. So
That's fine.
and so the bigger motors are going to be a little bit more noisy, Jay Lee, but they are much stronger. And everybody who's had theirs, which
You would just witness that today.
yeah, like Ken Rosinski, he's been printing just fine, and in fact, the prints he's been doing have turned out great too. So, so we feel that you're going to be very pleased with that. So, Imager993 asks, any update on the 3mm head? There are some nice filament options only available in 3mm that you would like to use. Great question. And we don't have an update as of right now that we would like to share about the 3mm head.
We have one,
Yeah.
but I felt like it was diminishing returns at this moment. We will probably offer one in real production, but it won't happen for another 2 or 3 months.
So the one we have does work, but it's not as reliable as what we want it to be.
Well, the problem is the material doesn't behave for us.
I know.
It's so dang stiff, it's hard to control and get it to go feeding properly.
Yeah. So to give you guys somewhat of a scale, you know, when you've got these, when you have your reels, the material on the outside pretty much just wants to spool itself out and go into a straight line. But once you start getting into the center part of that particular reel, it wants to stay coiled and it wants to stay in that particular shape. So as we're pulling it down into the motor, it still wants to curve in instead of going straight down. And especially, and that happens with the 1.75mm. It happens much more pronounced with the 3mm plastics, and that is a big problem. And everyone who's out there, when they see slippage in their prints, or when they see little blips, meaning like little cavities inside their prints, typically that's what's happening. It's coming to the very end of the reel, and we're working on that. We're working on trying to fix that. So
There you go.
So Jay Lee says American Chinese food is made for Americans. You're absolutely correct. It really and truly is.
You should have it in Europe. It's completely different there too.
Really?
Oh God, yeah. Chinese food in Germany is like nothing like you're going to get here, and it's really not much like you're getting in China. I have one restaurant I go to, and I actually get the same thing. It's a wonton soup, so wonton soup with extra vegetables, and some kind of a chow mein, lo mein thing that's pretty tasty. Tons of MSG. I'm sure it's got a boatload of MSG in it. My lips are like popping for an hour afterwards. So we'll swell up like I'm on Star Trek. Tell me you didn't see that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I had to make sure he's not an alien.
Yeah.
Or
So
a communist, you know. I wasn't sure if you had seen
Star
Star Trek.
Trek.
Oh, that's rough.
So Rick, yeah. So hopefully that answers your question as well about the 3mm.
I mean,
as well.
I use exclusively 3mm. It's just because those are the heads that I had. But yeah, it's a pain. And my solution has been get the reels that are higher in diameter than you can get some that are really tightly wound, and it just never works. So that's fixed some of the issues, but you always have it's a bigger filament fitting through the same size hole, so it's more difficult, and I have a lot of jamming issues. So, but I mean, the specialty ones I've worked with, nylon, they have Tallman has 1.75, right?
We love it.
So I'm sure there's some out there that you can't get, but the real specialty ones, I mean, I have a Phillistruder, so you can make your own, but it's not easy. So I feel your pain, but 1.75 really is better. So
For us, it's been a lot easier. We fought it in the beginning because our first thing was a worm gear, and we had such a mechanical advantage we could control it and really drive it.
yeah.
You know, but the problem with that was it was actually cutting into the filament, creating the dust, and then you had to keep cleaning the head apart. So you know, this plus, there's a minus, there's a plus, there's a minus. We have several interesting heads in development. It'll be interesting to see because I think that they'll address some of the issues we've got. Plus, I'm not so sure that a simple anneal or something that would heat the plastic into a neutral position and then let it roll in might be a good way to go.
Yeah, we'll give that a shot.
Yeah.
So Rick said, forgot I was supposed to call you guys and go over my 3mm experience on other printers. He bought the 1.75 millimeter version on the Phillistruder just for the HYREL. Oh,
Good.
wow.
Good.
Thank you.
Oh, well, you get a chance to print on it soon.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Excellent.
As always, I think we're about ready to wrap it up. How are you doing?
Yeah.
We need to cut you guys short if that's it. We appreciate each and every one of you guys checking in with us.
Thank you.
I think the next session we get together is going to be a landmark one for us. We're going to line up several printers. We're going to walk through each of the setups that we have, so you don't have to watch us fumble switching heads around. And we're going to do it in the large production area. So,
Oh, I do.
yeah.
So, all right. Thank you, Les. Thank you, Toladib. One last thing before we go. If I can get it up and running before the next live broadcast, I'll send out a link via the Kickstarter update as to how to
Drop cam.
how to see our drop cam. So I'm going to be putting the drop cam back up. It's going to be back up and running inside of our printing testing room. So you guys can see what's there, and if you guys can read the labels, you're going to see who's next up on deck to go out the door. So, so if I have that ready, you'll see that in the Kickstarter update, and it's going to go out there also, hopefully via Facebook and Twitter, depending upon what David. If I'll get with you and I'll work through how to actually set that up so we can show people. So there you go. And Rick said, got my SLA printer last week. After using it, I really can't wait for the HYREL. The upkeep on the SLA is insane. I'm really sorry to hear that. So,
If you have time to respond, I'm curious which one you got. I have a peachy printer on the way. It's gonna be a while still, but that thing caught my interest. It's $100.
It inspired me. That's what we're.
Oh, really?
We're trying to do a similar thing.
And I thought about the what is it? The big orange.
there's the
orange
Form 1.
Form 1 was
Yeah.
the first one I saw that I was really interested in, but
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Well, the Form 1 uses fairly expensive resins. I think they've got more in line.
Yeah.
At least I've heard that there have been more options available.
They've changed like the color for one, and they're trying to go after different types of like a little bit more rubbery type of material, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
You talking Form 1 still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peachy, they pitched it whenever they did their Kickstarter, saying buy a few liters of our stuff too. I mean, it's so easy. I guess you're not allowed to buy whatever you want without a license, but I work for a research lab, and we can get the stuff dirt cheap, like $20 for a quarter, or for a half a quart or something. Pegasus, I've heard of that one.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah.
Sigma Aldrich is your friend. If you're allowed to, buy hexane, diol, dimethacrylate, and find some diurethane, dimethacrylate. Just look at some research papers, and you can find a formulation that's super easy. And you can probably spend $100 on 6 months worth of liquid.
Wow.
So look at some research papers.
Okay.
I'm thinking we gotta
Thank
have
you.
buy this guy lunch tomorrow.
Yeah. Please, everyone, thank Nick. He just kind of broke open that. Thank you. So, wow.
Nice. Also, it's one that uses a laser right with. That's
Yeah.
good.
I like that. Trevor Blogs asks, "How is the shipping going for the last 2 weeks?" We have been shipping. We haven't met our particular goal that we're trying to push as of right now, but we have been shipping.